But so I love everything dinosaurs, and I love everything giant gorilla.
When I was a child and my family would go to Eureka or Branson, we would travel along the highway where it was, and I would say it was probably around 1970, and I would have been about 6, 7, and the first time we went by and my brother and I saw a dinosaur peeking out through the trees, that immediately got our attention, and we started looking, and then when we saw the entrance, we started screaming at my dad to stop and let us go. Well, at the time, he's like, oh, we're already past it, I'm not going to turn around. But the next time that we went by, we knew it was there, and so we were prepared, so we made sure he didn't miss it, so we went.
Hi there. My name is Slaide Turner. After discovering the existence of Dinosaur World in Eureka Springs, I thought a documentary was in order. As Dinosaur World decays with each and every day that passes, I want to show the people why it is important to save it. Even in its current state, Dinosaur World gives a magical feeling that makes you feel as if you are walking through Jurassic Park. When I visited Dinosaur World, I began to understand what it meant to the kids in the 1970s and the 1980s, as it held natural beauty combined with large concrete dinosaurs that would cause a child's imagination to go wild. The park is otherworldly to behold, even when it is in shambles. Born in Powder River, Montana in 1887, Emmett Sullivan was a cowboy. After serving in the First World War, Emmett turned to sculpting, in which he was most notably known for working on Mount Rushmore as well as constructing the 1966 Christ of the Ozarks statue. But before embarking on the journey of Dinosaur World, he worked on the Dinosaur Park in South Dakota, where he perfected his dinosaur sculpting skills. After completing Dinosaur Park, South Dakota, Sullivan went to Eureka Springs, Arkansas to build the Christ of the Ozarks statue. Sullivan stayed in Eureka Springs for some time to complete this project, as well as a few side projects. This is where he was commissioned by Ola Farwell to construct dinosaurs for yet another dinosaur theme park. Ola Farwell, a cattleman in Eureka Springs, had just entered retirement when he opened Dinosaur World in 1967, or at the time was called Farwell's Dinosaur Park. This was the first phase of many the theme park would go through. In 1970, sculptor Emmett Sullivan passed away at the age of 83, just 3 years after the park opened. But this did not stop Farwell's Dinosaur Park from expanding and becoming a local attraction. Elizabeth Alonzo will now tell of her experience when she visited in the early 1970s.
I do remember there was a big black spider at the entrance that terrified me. It was a real kind of kitschy type place like you would find along roadsides in America in the 70s. And the first time we went, it wasn't complete. They still had dinosaurs that were being built so you could see rebar skeletons that were in various stages of being constructed into dinosaurs. It was kind of a neat place though, because it was just like out in the wilderness kind of park, and it had like a little road that ran through it, and you would ride in your car, and then you could stop, and then there were just dinosaurs, and they also had some other animals too that weren't dinosaurs, but they were just kind of placed out in different areas, and you could stop, and then we would get out of the car and go for a closer look, and touch them. And I also remember the cavemen were very creepy looking. And they had those stuck around with spears and things like they were hunting the dinosaurs, but they had really freaky looking faces.
In 1980, Olaf Farwell sold the park to Ken Childs after he decided he was too old to run the park. Farwell passed away in 1988. Since Childs was the new owner of the park, he and his wife set out to liven up the park, and were friends with B-movie actor John Agar. So, with the recent release of the 1976 King Kong film, Ken Childs saw it as an opportunity to cash in by creating a 40-foot tall King Kong statue, and renamed the park John Agar's Land of Kong.
My name is Turner, Sammy Turner, Dr. Sammy Turner. I'm a local physician here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I grew up in the northwest Arkansas area, and was born in actually Gravette, and so been here a long time. Dinosaur World, that takes me way back, and I can't quite remember, but it would have been when I was in probably high school or junior high. As a Cub Scout, I think we went. As Boy Scouts, we went there. I guess lots of people from around the area went. My sister and brother, we went. I went to Dinosaur World with church groups. I went to, this church bus. I went there as a Cub Scout and a Boy Scout. Went there and seemed like in like science class and junior high. We went there and had a field trip, ate sack lunches, and so there's just little occasions here and there. And then every now and then, my dad would call it, we would just go loafing and go driving around. And he was kind of cheap though, but we might go over there and pull up the gate and not go in, or we went in, but we never got a souvenir out of the souvenir shop. I remember I always wanted one.
The King Kong started construction right away in 1980 and was completed in 1984. The massive gorilla featured red blinking eyes and a moving mouth, but these broke about 6 months later. It was originally intended to have moving arms to beat on the gorilla's chest like it did in the movie, but this was too advanced at the time. So the couple put the budget toward refurbishing the older dinosaurs and made them look like a cartoon rather than realistic colors.
It was this huge King Kong, and you'd see the spider, and there was like a gate, and then King Kong back there, and there was a gift shop. And you just hiked around, there were picnic tables, and we'd go there in different groups and on a field trip and have a sack lunch and, kick around for a little bit. There's a little lake there and a trail, so it was kind of a little nature walk. It was pretty cool.
After the King Kong statue was finished, not much changed about Dinosaur World. People came and went throughout the late 1980s and 1990s, but in 2005, Dinosaur World closed its doors for good. This was due to a lack of revenue and maintenance to the statues. The park fell into disarray and began to rot over the years. In 2011, Dinosaur World was a victim of arson as the main building was burned down, as well as the entrance sign, which caused a barbed wire fence to be built around the property to prevent any future destruction. Dinosaur World was then purchased by Spider Creek Resorts in 2015 with plans for a total restoration, but this never happened. This leads us to the present day. The park has continued to fall apart without a care from the new owners. I had contacted the new owners of the park, but they declined my request for entry to acquire material. This caused me to rely mostly on older videos and photos and whatever I could see from the outside. There are nearly 30 different no trespassing signs, which is a shame as it keeps people from discovering this magical place.
My name is Blaine Turner. I'm originally from Fayetteville, Arkansas, but I am a third-year film student at Cal State Long Beach. You know, you talked about, or you asked me if I thought, if I was upset about the current state that the park is in, and really, I think it's disgraceful that the new owners won't open this place up to the public. They won't do anything about it, fix up the dinosaurs, because, you know, I can't speak for everybody, but I know from my personal experience, I mean, big dinosaurs, big giant gorillas and everything, that monsters, you know, these things are key to my personality, at least, I think. I mean, they're very important in my development as a child, you know? Godzilla movies. Again, King Kong. It's like my most favorite movie in the entire world. Kids, they need to see these things, you know? We need to get the kids out there and see these beautiful dinosaurs, these works of art, you know? It's a shame they're just going to waste.
To me, it's a good memory of the way this part of Arkansas was at that time. You know, in the 70s, there were just lots of these little goofy, you know, places like that, like the Civil War Cave in Bentonville, or a lot of these little places you could stop where they had Arkansas crystals or rocks, you know, and it's just sad to me that a lot of that's gone now.
When I was a little kid, we asked to go. We loved it. It was like, you know, our Disneyland, which was close to our town in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas, and then there was the Dog Patch USA next door to it, which we never cared too much about, didn't want to go to, but yeah, it was just this place over there that was just kind of crazy. It was so close to our hometown, and yeah, when you walked in there, you just felt like you were going to go look at real dinosaurs when you were little.
Although the park has grown up and not cared for now, you can see the amount of craftsmanship and care that went into these amazing sculptures back in the day. At least the park will live on in the form of film, as it was shown in the 1969 It's Alive, directed by Larry Buchanan. And right before the park had closed, it was also featured in the 2005 film Elizabethtown, which featured the Tyrannosaurus Rex from the park on the front cover. Dinosaur World was an attraction that amazed young kids with the large dinosaur sculptures combined with beautiful scenery. The park had a great beginning, but over time was forgotten. And I hope one day we will see it open its doors once more.
Let me tell you, if Dinosaur World was still a thing today, if it was open, I'd be there every day.
I've always wondered why they don't open back up. I think part of it's still standing there, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd go if they opened up.
But it's a neat place, and I'm sad that it's gone. I mean, I guess it's still there, but people can't go in and enjoy it.
Thank you.